everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography. I'm Mark Wallace, and today we're going to talk all about the hardware that you can use to do tethering in a studio or on location, wherever and however you want to tether. That's what this episode is all about. Now, this is coming from questions that you've asked me, primarily a couple of videos that I've done. One was all about creating Lightroom presets in the studio and tethering, and then another one was about tethering like a pro. And I showed you all of the software and the configurations that I use, and people were asking me, please, can you do another video, slow it down and show us the actual gear, the cables and the tables and the stands and all of the things that you use to tether in the studio. And so that's what I'm going to do. This is all about the gear that I'm using. If you want to know about the software stuff and sort of the principles behind tethering, well, then I've linked to those videos in the description of this video. Speaking of links, all of this stuff, I'm going to be showing you not only what I use, but what other photographers use as well, because there's a billion different options for tethering and setting up stuff. And so all of the products that I'm showing you, I've tagged them, and so you can click on those tags when they pop up or over on the description of the video to get more information and pricing and all of that kind of stuff, because I'm going to be showing you all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. So let me show you the stands that we have here. And so what I want to do is we're going to start from the ground up and build this out. So this is a tethered table. And so the tethered table can be put on a normal light stand. So this is a Matthews Baby Junior single riser. It's got wheels, it rolls around, and it's wonderful. So a lot of people will just put their tethered table on that. And you can see on the bottom of the tether table that we have different options for mounting. So we've got a normal 5/8 inch hole for a light stand, a 1/4-20. You can screw that right onto a tripod, or a 3/8 inch adapter there. And we also have these little slots right here, and that's for an Arca style tripod mount. And so let me just show you that. This is a tripod here with an Arca style top on it. And so what we can do here is, if we have a tripod like this, we can just mount that right on there. So I'll just stick this to the side here. You can see those go right in there. And when I tighten that up like that, you can see that that is securely fastened to that tripod. And then I can level that out. And now you have your tether table on your tripod. This tripod actually has wheels on it. So Tether Tools makes some wheels that you can adapt your tripod to make it a rolling stand, and I absolutely love that. And so that's what that is. So we've got that. We can use any tripod you want as long as it has an Arca style top, or you can use that 1/4-20 thread to use your own tripod plate, so you can mount it to any tripod that you have, or a normal light stand. I like to use this stand right here. This is a standard baby, not a Baby Junior, but a standard Matthews stand. And this is a double riser. It's incredibly heavy duty. In fact, it's really heavy. It's also a little bit expensive, I'm not going to lie to you. But I love this stand because the wheels are so big, it will roll over extension cords and cables and stuff. And also because the base is so wide, it's not going to tip over if you actually kick it. And it will support a lot of weight. And so in a little bit, we're going to be building out a really awesome kit based on this stand. And so that's what I normally use. But there's another stand that I just want to make sure that you see. This right now, by the way, has a monitor on it. I'm going to explain what all this is in a little bit. But this stand has a fantastic base. This is also made by Tether Tools. And so it's not going to fall over. It's really, really stable. It's got locking wheels, all that kind of stuff. So if you want something that is not quite crazy heavy duty, but very capable, this is a very, very, very popular stand, and I highly, highly recommend it. So any of these will work. It's up to you. You decide what's going to work for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stand that I use all the time with my table, with my cable, and we're going to build out all of this stuff that I showed you in those previous videos, and then show you all the options for configuring it exactly the way that you want it to work. Well, now that we know all about the different options that we can use to mount our tether tables, I'm going to show you how I do it in the studio using this. I said the wrong name. This is a Matthews Lowboy Junior double riser. That's what this is. So I'll make sure to put a link to this. And so that's what I'm using. The thing I like about this is it's got this little pin right here, and you can see that I can open this up and boink, it pops up. So that's a normal pin that you would use for a light there. And so I'm going to take, I've got the Aeromaster. This is a large table here. And so I'm going to use just the normal hole and stick this on here like that. And then you'll notice that this, when I tighten it down, there's a little gap between the stand and my table. So all I do is I take this, I will lower it down and tighten it up. So these are both tight. And now that is a rock solid table. So I can move that around, and I've got something that I can really put a bunch of stuff on. So then I would put my laptop on. We're gonna do that in a little bit. One of the things I love about this table is over here, we have this right here. This allows me to put all my hard drives in there. So I can put one on the right or on the left. I can put multiple. So I have one where I can put 2 hard drives, and that's where I hold that. And then there's a bunch of stuff that I can start sticking on this. One of my favorites, I know this seems ridiculous, but it's this right here. This is a cup holder. So I'm gonna stick that on there. It just sort of slides on. And now I can stick my water bottle there, my coffee, and this is one of the most valuable things I have in the studio is my cup holder there. Then we have these clips right here. These are absolutely amazing because they just sort of slide on like the cup holder, and then that way I can put all my cables and stuff on there, and it holds all that in place. And so this is a new, by the way, this is a new 31-foot cable. Kevin, I say that right, 31 foot? Yep. Yeah, new 31-foot cable. It's really amazing. I just got this a couple weeks ago. And so I also have a little magnetic mount here. So it's this guy right here, and that sticks on there. And so when I put my laptop on there, you'll see that just helps to make sure that I don't rip that out of my laptop. So it does break away, but it just sort of pops on there. And so that is another option for you. So cable, table, my hard drive holder, my cup holder, my cable mounts, so I can hold those. So what we need to do is let me put my laptop on here and rig it all out as it normally would be, and you can see how this works. So with the power of editing, here we go. And there it is. With the magic of editing, you can see my entire setup. This is what I normally use in the studio. And so let me show you this close up, all of the different things that I'm using here. So on this table, I'm gonna, in fact, make sure that you can see this. We have my normal MacBook Pro here, whatever laptop you're using. You can see I've got junk all over this table. That's why I use the big AeroMaster table, because I want to be able to put my card reader and my glasses and my light meter and anything that I have. I just want to be able to plonk it on there. Sometimes I'll even use a mouse over here. So that is there. But the specifics of this, let's start over here on this side. The cup holder, I absolutely love that. I showed you that earlier. This is the Ecstasy Duo. So you can put 2 hard drives in here. And just the way I normally do that, I have this with the cables coming from this side and around. And that way it makes sure that nobody snags those. So you can do it however you want, but I don't go from right there straight in. This is a strap more. It allows me to use this Velcro to attach my power adapter. And then these little straps here allow me to just sort of put in any power cables or anything to keep them out of the way. And then I just have this down here. I've just gaffed a little power strip onto the leg of this light stand. And then that way, if I roll it around, it's not going to get inside the wheels. And that's just sort of how I like to do it. And then this little hook is normally made for your cables. I actually sometimes will just hang my light meter off of that, or my color check or whatever. I just like having that little extra hook there. It's really awesome. Then on the other side over here, you can see that I have my 31-foot cable here that's hanging. And then I've got this magnetic tether guard right there. So that makes sure that if anybody pulls that, it's gonna pull from here first, not the computer. So that's just a little bit of safety there. I really like how that works. And so this rests right in there like that. It's a very, very basic and functional setup. I love being able to swivel this around. And so then I can show the model. Here's what we're shooting. This is what's going on there. We can take looks. If I don't have my external monitor, that's how I do it. And then to connect this to my camera. So I've got this, and this is a brand new, I absolutely love it. This is the Tether Tools lever lock. And so there's this little lever here. If you're a mountain climber, outdoor person, you might be familiar with how this mechanism works. And so what I'll do here is I'm going to take my cable. This is just a USB-C cable. And then that will connect, whoops, I got to actually put that in the right port. So there it is, it goes right there. Goes right there. And then this goes through here. So I open this up, This goes through this like that, sort of winds around, like that. So if I pull on this, that is making this lever go over and tighten. So it's only going to tighten if anybody pulls on that. It's not going to come out, but it's really easy to take this out if I need to get there. If I have a normal camera with the battery on the bottom, I can actually open that up and get to it. This guy right here has the batteries on the side, so I don't really need to worry about that. And then this also is an arc mount, and so this goes right onto a tripod. So I'll stick that on there. So that works just fine. And so I'll just zip over here, and now I've got my cable on my camera, on my tripod. It's all mounted up, and that's how that works. Now what I want to do is I want to mount this to my stand so I can use an external monitor. And so I'm going to do that with this. This is my rock solid mount for stands, my monitor mount for stands. And so this uses a VESA mount to any VESA compatible monitor, which is pretty much any professional monitor made in the last 20 years, something like that. So I'm going to show you all of that stuff. So the thing that we need to do first is get this stand off of this monitor, and then I can start putting all these pieces together. So on this guy right here, it makes it really easy. I just pop this off, and then I've got this little pad here. This came from the packaging inside the monitor box. And then I can put that down, and now I can put that aside. And then this is on the LG monitor. So depending on which brand of monitor you have, you'll have to do this. So this guy just pops on here and then attaches. And now it's ready to go. So I've got 4 holes. These are this is a VESA mount. And one thing to note is that different VESA standards exist. So we have a small and a larger and a larger and even a larger. So Tether Tools has a page dedicated to understanding this so you know which size of mount to get. But this one here, I can just stick on there. And then there are 4 holes with 4 screws. And then I'll just attach that really fast. And then we'll speed this up in our edit so you can see me do this. Okay, that's on there. And one of the things I want to show you is that this, I'm going to twist this around, this goes on the stand right here. And so that's if you want to have it straight up. But you can also mount it from the side so you can have a vertical monitor. So I'm going to stand this up really quick so you can sort of see this. So I can have this mounted vertically. Right here, there's a hole. Or I can have this mounted horizontally right there. There's a hole. And then also on the top here, through this, there are 2 holes. You can add things like if you're going to do a photo booth or something, you want an umbrella or a camera or something, you've got 2 other things right there that you can attach, which is really cool. And then this is very, very sturdy. And the nice thing about it is you can fold it down like this. And so if I put that to the side, you can see that this will still fit in your box, so you can carry this around, and it's really, really portable. Now we're going to put everything together. I'm going to put that big monitor on here and extend this tether table out so I have a little working platform. Now, one of the questions I got a lot was how was the power and how did everything work between the monitor and the laptop? And so for this LG monitor, I'm using this. This is a Thunderbolt 3 cable. That actually takes power from the monitor and powers the laptop as well as sending the video feed through. So it totally depends on the type of monitor that you're using. So for this LG monitor specifically, it's just a Thunderbolt 3 cable, 1 cable between them. That provides power to the laptop and video to the monitor. And then I have a power cable that goes to the monitor itself, and that plugs into a wall outlet. And so that's how everything is juiced up and how everything works. So, you can use an HDMI cable. You can use whatever works for your monitor. It just depends on what you're using. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my tether table off the stand. Now it's time to put the monitor on this stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the exact same pin that I did before. So instead of having my tether table on there, I'm going to have the monitor on there. So this just drops right on there like that. So that is a horizontal mount. Or if I want, I can take this off and I can mount this vertically. So I'm going to make sure this goes in. There we go. So you can do it vertically or horizontally, whatever works for you. We're going to do a horizontal mount. I'll take this off. This monitor is a little bit heavy. There we go. So it is on there. And now I'm going to twist this so it's nice and locked. And then I'm going to make sure that this has a good connection here. So there we go. Now we are very, very secure, and I'm ready to lift this up. So I'm going to take this, lift this up to about right there, and now I can spin this guy around, and I've got a nice setup. So I'll put this about right there. I think that's pretty good. Now I want to have my tether table right here. Now to do that, I have this. This is a Tether Tools rock solid clamp, a master clamp, and then this is a rock solid master sidearm. And so this goes on here. I like to put this right above the knuckle, and then that way, if for whatever reason, if somebody accidentally unscrews this, the whole thing doesn't come crashing down. I sort of have a safety net, because this rock solid master clamp will make sure that this doesn't fall, which is sort of nice. I'll make sure that's all lined up. And then my tether table plops right on this, just like that. And I can tighten that down. And then my laptop goes on there, and voila. Now all I have to do is connect all the cables, and this is good to go, and we can use that exactly as I showed before as a nice high resolution monitor, or a confidence monitor, or a client monitor, however you want to use it, or secondary display. It's all good to go. So let me put all the cables together, and then we'll give you one final look. Now I have this set up exactly as I use it in this studio, and you can see I have Lightroom Classic fired up, and I've got my external monitor working. And so I want to give you a closer look at each of these components, and you can see exactly what I'm using in real life. There you have it, my entire tethered setup. Now I want to remind you that the way I do it is just one of a billion different ways that you can use Tether tools to set up your tethering station. And so if you're a tabletop shooter, or if you're a studio shooter, or a location shooter, if you're using a tripod or a studio stand, or however you want to do it, that's up to you. In fact, over on tethertools.com, they have a bunch of different configurations, and so you can choose packages, you can see all the different options, you can see all the different gadgets they have. It's just sort of fun to go over there and see different ways that people have set up their stations. So you can do it the way I've done it, or you can do it a completely new way. I'd love to see how you're doing it. In fact, if you have pictures of your station, of you tethering in your studio or on location, tag me on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube. I'd love to see how you're tethering and doing stuff. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the bell so you get notifications. I've got new videos every single week, and you don't want to miss out on any of those. Thanks again, and I will talk to you next time.